Welcome, everyone, to the Orlando Biz Review. We're the show that digs into the details of Orlando businesses, trying to give you the real story. Today, we're looking at a place that's, well, pretty unique. It puts you right up close with sharks while you eat. Sharks Underwater Grill and Bar. It's inside SeaWorld Orlando. The address is 7007 SeaWorld Drive, right there in the park. So, our goal today, like always, is to cut through the noise. We've looked at tons of reviews, articles, firsthand accounts. We want to give you the full picture, the good, the bad, everything. We'll cover the look and feel, the service, the prices, the value, and, what people, locals, tourists actually think, because you might be wondering, right, if you're already at SeaWorld, is this the place to spend your time and money? Let's figure that out together. Okay, so first impressions, the why factor. Everyone talks about it. What's it actually like walking in there?
Right, well, that's definitely where it shines. The consensus, overwhelmingly, is that the atmosphere is just stunning. Like, consistently gets top marks, 10 out of 10 in some reviews. People call it a beautiful restaurant, decorated beautifully. And the main thing, obviously, is your dining right there, under this huge shark tank.
Wow.
Yeah, the lighting's dim, makes it feel like you're really under the ocean. And they say there isn't really a bad seat. Big plexiglass windows everywhere. You got sharks, hammerheads, loads of fish just swimming by. Reviewers call it a living picture. Kids love it. Adults love it. It's pretty impressive visually.
Okay.
The overall vibe is sort of casual, touristy, good for groups, definitely good for kids. That visual element is huge.
It really sounds like the view is the main event. But, even Paradise has its issues sometimes. Did anything less than perfect pop up in the reviews about the ambiance itself?
That's a good point. And yeah, while almost everyone loves the view, a couple of smaller details did come up. One person mentioned the actual aquarium glass looked a bit dirty, like greasy smeared glass, which, could kind of break the spell a little.
Yeah.
And another more practical thing someone mentioned, bring a sweater or a wrap. Apparently it gets freezing in the summer, air conditioning working overtime maybe.
Okay, good tip. So maybe not absolutely perfect, but the core visual is still the big draw.
Exactly. Those seem like minor things for most people, but worth knowing.
Right. So moving on from the view, service, that can really make or break a meal, can't it? What's the story there? Sounds like it's, well, complicated.
Yeah, complicated is a good word. It's really a tale of two extremes, honestly. On the one hand, you have lots of reports of excellent service, people feeling really welcome. There are specific shout-outs, like a waitress named Giselle who fixed an undercooked steak before the guest even complained. That's pretty impressive.
That is good service.
Yeah. And others mentioned Sume being very good, Barbara being one of the best.
Yeah.
Even a manager, Miriam, got thanked for sorting out a problem. So clearly, there are some fantastic staff members there who really know how to look after guests.
Okay, so individual stars, but then there's the other side. Lots of frustration. How do those two things exist in the same place? What's causing the bad experiences, according to the sources?
It really seems to boil down to staffing levels
Yeah.
and maybe some organizational issues.
Right.
We saw quite a few comments about the place being way understaffed.
No.
And that leads to, long waits just to see a server, trouble getting water refills, feeling rushed through the meal. There was one pretty bad story about a family waiting 45 minutes just for someone to walk them to the restaurant. They called it very unprofessional.
Wow, 45 minutes just to get escorted.
Yeah. And another family got turned away at the door, told there was a special event, even though it was normal hours, and the place looked nearly empty.
Oof, that sounds really frustrating.
It does. So it feels like the individual staff might be great, but the system around them sometimes lets guests down. Oh, and a key practical thing, it's credit card only. No cash accepted anywhere in the restaurant. Good to know beforehand.
Definitely good to know. Card only. Got it. And speaking of things that cause frustration and confusion, reservations, this seems like a huge point of contention.
Yes. This is probably the most confusing part for anyone trying to plan a visit. You absolutely need to be aware of this, because you'll see places like TripAdvisor saying reservations are a feature. One review even says make a reservation online.
Right, so you'd think you could book.
Exactly. But then other sources, some more recent ones, state very clearly you can't make reservations in advance. They say the only way in is to join the walk-up wait list.
In
person, at the restaurant.
walk up only. In a theme park restaurant.
Seems like it. Some people even recommend getting your name down right when the list opens, maybe around 11 a.m. And if you don't have a SeaWorld day ticket, it gets even trickier. You have to go to the main ticket booth first, get registered somehow, and then they arrange an escort to take you to the restaurant.
That sounds like a hassle.
Yeah, some found it unclear and time-consuming. So, the takeaway is, don't count on booking. Be prepared for a potential wait and know the process, especially if you're coming just for the meal.
Okay, super important tip there. Don't assume you can reserve. Plan for a walk-up. All right, let's shift gears to the food. The main reason you go to a restaurant, right? Or is it? This seems to be where opinions really, really split. What kind of food are we talking about?
It's primarily American and seafood. They do lunch and dinner, and they make a point of having gluten-free options available, which is good. Menu staples include things like coconut chicken tenders, lobster bisque, filet mignon, Kobe beef sliders, a decent range of seafood, steaks, and desserts.
Okay, it sounds fairly standard for that kind of upscale-ish theme park place.
Pretty much. They also have a full bar, standard cocktails like an old-fashioned, but also a signature one called the Puffin's Kiss. And apparently, part of the money from that drink goes to the Audubon Society, which is a nice touch.
That is nice. Okay, so the menu sounds decent, but theme park location usually means theme park prices. What's the deal with cost and value? Are people feeling like they get their money's worth?
Value. Yeah, this is another area with, let's say, strong opinions on both sides. The price point is generally seen as dollars, so elevated.
Yeah.
Most people expect that, being inside SeaWorld.
Sure, that makes sense.
Some actually found it very reasonable. One group mentioned about $215 before tip for 5 people, drinks, appetizer, entrees, desserts. Doesn't sound too bad for the setting.
No, for 5 people in that environment, maybe not.
But then
Yeah.
you get the other side. People feeling outright robbed. One group spent nearly $300 for 6 people, felt the portions were tiny, only had 1 drink each.
Ouch, $300 and feeling robbed.
Yeah. And lots of descriptions like mediocre, substandard for the price, even very pricey for carnival food, or just plain gouging.
So value is really in the eye of the beholder here, it sounds like. Depends what you order and what you expect.
Exactly. It seems incredibly subjective.
What about the actual quality of the food? Setting aside the price for a second. And portion sizes. That seems linked to the value complaints.
Yeah, and again, just wildly inconsistent reports. It's kind of amazing, really. You have some guests raving incredible food, delicious salmon, perfect filet mignon, huge sea scallops. Desserts like raspberry cheesecake get praised, too.
Okay, so it can be really good.
It seems so.
Yeah.
But then you have these really alarming negative reviews. One person described their medium rare steak as dry and almost purple, with black and yellow carrots. They actually use the phrase rotten food.
Wow, rotten. That's strong.
Very strong. Others complained about rice like bullets, dried chicken, overcooked penders, too much batter on fried items. It suggests a real lack of consistency coming out of the kitchen.
It really sounds like a gamble, doesn't it?
It does. And portion sizes feed into that gamble.
Yeah.
Some say very generous, others extremely small. People leaving starving.
Yeah.
Those coconut chicken tenders came up again. Someone specifically said it was 2 pieces for $16. That's not a lot of chicken.
2 pieces for $16. Yeah, I can see why people might feel the value isn't there if that's the case. Any way to hedge your bets? Any tips for getting better value, maybe?
Actually, yes. One potentially useful tip did emerge. If you happen to have one of those SeaWorld all-day dining plan bracelets, you might get a discount on your meal here. Some guests were surprised to find a discount applied when their check came.
Oh, interesting. So definitely worth asking if you have the dining plan.
Absolutely.
Right.
Could make a difference to that value perception.
Okay, good insider tip. So bringing it all together, who is this place really for? Is it mostly tourists having a one-off unique experience, or do locals actually go back?
Well, being inside SeaWorld, naturally, a huge chunk of the reviewers are tourists. And it does well with them generally. It actually got a Traveler's Choice Award from TripAdvisor, meaning it's in their top 10% globally based on travel reviews. So tourists definitely find that unique atmosphere appealing.
That makes sense. It's a big draw if you're visiting.
For sure. It's memorable.
But what about people who live in Orlando? Is it just a theme park thing, or does it have local appeal too?
It seems to have some.
Yeah.
We saw reviews from Orlando locals, including some designated elite reviewers on Yelp who say they go back regularly. Comments like, always eat here and love it. Some even said they prefer it over similar concepts like the Coral Reef Cafe at Epcot.
Oh, interesting comparison.
Yeah. So it suggests that for some, locals included, the unique experience is the main draw. Maybe more so than just getting a meal. It's about the occasion.
Right. It's less about the food, perhaps, and more about dining with sharks.
I think that's a fair summary, yeah.
Okay, so let's try to wrap this up. Based on everything we've looked at for this Orlando Biz review of Shark's Underwater Grill, What's the final word?
The absolute undeniable highlight is the setting. That underwater, shark-filled view is spectacular. It creates a really fun, memorable dining experience. That part is a clear win.
The spectacle is real.
Definitely. But everything else comes with caveats. Service can be excellent thanks to some great staff, but understaffing and system issues mean it can also be really frustratingly inconsistent. The whole reservation situation is, frankly, confusing and a potential hassle. Walk-up only seems to be the reality now.
Right.
And the food. Right. It's just a massive variable. Could be great, could be pretty bad. Value is totally subjective and seems linked to managing expectations and maybe getting lucky with your order.
So it really boils down to a central question for anyone thinking of going, doesn't it? For you, listening now, maybe planning an Orlando trip. Is that incredible, immersive, visual feast of dining next to sharks? Is that strong enough to make you overlook the very real possibility of inconsistent service, confusing logistics, and maybe hit or miss food? Is it an experience that's worth it despite the potential flaws, or just a meal in a cool room? I guess that's what you need to decide. And that brings us to the end of this Orlando Biz Review. We really hope this look at Shark's Underwater Grill and Bar helps you decide if it's right for your next SeaWorld visit. If you found this useful, we'd love it if you'd like, subscribe, and maybe share Orlando Biz Review with your friends or family. It really helps us out. Also, if you run a business and you're interested in reaching our audience, we do offer advertising spots. Just drop us an email at orlandobizreview@gmail.com. Thanks for tuning in, and stay tuned for more informative Orlando Biz Reviews coming your way soon.